do a sound check.
Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money.
What's up, everybody? It's Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your what? Your money. Now, listen, we're talking today about everyday businesses that are quietly making people rich. Now, everybody wants to be flashy, but some of the biggest money makers are the most boringest jobs or businesses that you'd ever or you may never expect. Today, we're going to play a trivia with the queens and all of you guys in the chat. So we want you to guess which ordinary industries are quietly building millions. But before we get started, I want to introduce you to the dopest, amazingest queens on the planet. First up, we have Miss Marriage, Motherhood, and Money in that order, baby. All the way from Botswana, Miss Nomalanga. How you doing, lady? All right. And then next up, we got the B.Big. Coach. Hey, the B.Big. Hey, Dr. Felice in the building. She's going to have to bring some sense into the conversation because she is the resident therapist here. And she's going to have to help us get our lives all the way together. So how you doing, Miss Felice? You good? She's doing the Miss America wave. Okay. And last, but certainly not least, ladies and gentlemen, we have the doctor, the psychic medium, the stand-up comedian, and now she is a real estate agent. So she can stand up, she can tell you a joke, she can deliver your baby, tell your future. Now she can sell you a house, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Charm, what's happening, lady? All the way from the ATL.
Just coming off of my City Winery show that I have been plugging to you guys, and it was amazing. And I ended up hosting because I sold the most tickets, and the host got sick, and so they hollered at a player. They were like, "Hey, can you host?" And we had a ball.
That's amazing. So Atlanta is not even your hometown, and you were able to sell tickets in Atlanta, more tickets than the homegrown people in Atlanta.
Look, I don't just talk about it; I bees about it.
Boom. I ain't talking about it. I'm walking about it, baby. Okay. I hear you. Good job. Good job. So you did a great job. So any future dates coming up? Any future gigs as a result of this?
We will. It's all in the works. So just stay tuned. Watch my IG.
Okay. Stay tuned. All right. That's what's up. All right. So listen, we're going to talk about the top 10 most boring jobs that are quietly making everybody or making people rich. So before we get started, I'm going to ask you guys in the chat. Oh, my bad. Businesses in the chat. I have some paper. The ladies have a paper or a dry erase board. I want you to write down the top 10 businesses that are making people boring businesses, everyday businesses that are making people rich. So let's give you about 60 seconds. We got the Jeopardy music. We got some Jeopardy music. Whatever it is. Run that again, run it again, run it again. All right, ladies, y'all got it? You got your 10? I ain't got nowhere near 10, to be honest with you. You got 5?
I got 5.
I
I
got
got
3.
5 on it.
You got 5? Everybody got 5? Okay, so let's see what the folks in the audience. Okay, I see. Okay, well, we have a video. Let's watch the video because I am thoroughly confused because I don't know. I don't know. So let's watch the video to see what the top 5, and then we'll see what you guys have against what's on the video. Let's go.
Smart Money Moves did a list, the richest people in the USA and what is it that they're doing. 18 quote boring businesses, right? Number 1 on the list, laundromats. All right. The startup costs are 200 to 500,000, but profit margins are 20 to 35%. And it works because it's an essential service with steady demand. Car washes.
Yeah.
We hear that all the time. Profit margins 16 to 25%. And that's a recurring customer base, opportunities for automation. And so that's a consistent cash flow. Vending machines.
You know, I was going to get into that.
Yeah. So I had thought about that too for a hot second. The failure rate is negative 15% in the first year. Low overhead, scalable with minimal effort, and profit margins 10 to 20%. I feel like I would want higher profit margins. Storage.
That's a good
facilities,
one.
self-storage facilities. I know I spent a lot of money on a damn storage facility for no reason. Profit margins 30 to 40%, and they charge a lot. It's like rent.
Yeah. Again, has to be in a big city though.
Pest control services, lawn care and landscaping. Pest control is expensive too.
Keep me out of that business.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it.
Nope.
Lawn care and landscaping, mobile notary services, junk removal services. That's definitely expensive. Yeah. I actually thought about that. Like, we need some junk removal. Pressure washing services, oil change services, and appliance repair services, bounty house rentals, portable toilet rentals. Don't put me in that either. And billboard leasing. So that's your list. I learned this from Small Business Services. Location is the number 1 reason why businesses work or don't work.
Right.
All right.
Interesting. Did you guys, well, Nomalanga, you didn't see it at all, huh? Shit, I don't know what they were. So they were vending machines. I should have wrote it down.
Laundromat, vending machines, car wash, storage, pest control, lawn care, portable toilet, and mobile notary are the ones I caught.
No. Mobile notary? I don't think she said
mobile. She said mobile.
Yeah, she said mobile notary.
Oh, okay. So I got nothing. Did you guys get any?
No.
Yeah, I got because I had looked into. I actually did a whole program where you they teach you how to do the vending machines, and so I'm still thinking about doing it because it's pretty low investment and you can get a used machine, and so people, especially because the pandemic happened, that really because people couldn't leave, and so they were having to be at work, so that really blew up over the last 5 years. But yeah, I had vending machines, I had coin laundry, waste management and solid waste, like anything to do with that, and then I had trucking logistics because that's based on like what the how much the truck has on a load, and so if you're able to like navigate that, there's commissions off of that. And there was another one I had. I put like financial planning, like tax accounting or financial planning, because I would think that would be boring, but maybe to the accountants it's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, shoot, you got quite a bit of them. What about you, Noma? Out of the list that you just heard, did you have any of them?
My 5 were car wash, laundromat, dog walking, house sitting, and catering. And I only put those because I used to create those lists for businesses that have low overheads, and they're usually boring businesses, but you can get started without needing like equipment and stuff like that, or little. Yeah.
Felice, you didn't have any on the list?
No, I said accountant, bookkeeping, janitorial, HVAC, plumber. Like I thought those were the ones. I know they make money.
Yeah, those are, I mean, those are the trades I think we always talk about, because that's what I got. I was like, I got construction, plumbing, welding, but I didn't think about, the vending machine. In fact, about 20 years ago, my dad had some money and I had him invest in vending machines. I think he still has a couple at his house. And it depends on, location. You can get somebody to let you come in and put the vending machines in. If you have good quality vending machines, those are all factors as well. The church that I went to, I left the church because they wouldn't let me put my vending machine. That's what my cousin always say. Hey, remember that church you left because they wouldn't let you put the vending machine up in there? I was like, first of all, that's the reason why. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I was my last job, I was a national sales manager for a farmer program, and one of my reps, I think he's in Pittsburgh. He had a vending machine route, and he was making like 25,000 a month, and he had a full-time job as a sales rep. And he said that the business had gone down, so he wasn't bringing in 25 right now, but he was still bringing in probably at least half. But it was like during the pandemic, it really hit. And a lot of times the scale up for those, if you buy a route, and I think that's what he did. He bought a route. And I know a guy here in Atlanta, he bought like a route that somebody had like 12 or 13 vending machines. So then you already have a built-in route and you don't have to work as hard, and it's already bringing in money.
So would you, any of those on the list, would any of you guys think any pique your interest?
I would do a laundromat.
Why?
Because I think it's necessary, especially in communities where there's a lack of resources.
Mm-hmm.
And so they may not be able to have a wash and dry in their home, but they still need to be able to have access to something where they can have clean clothes. Mm-hmm. So I would want to do that. I would want to do a laundromat.
Okay. What about you, Dr. Charm?
Like I said, I would. I've already looked into vending machines, and it's still it's on the real estate is like precedent right now. But I would like to take something and reinvest it into the vending machines and just start with one or two and just see what happens. But it's definitely doable with one person. So, and I like I had never thought about the coin laundry until recently because I saw some stuff come across my social media. But people that are clean, they're going to want to have clean clothes. And not everybody has a washer and dryer. So you have to think about stuff like that.
What about you, Nomalanga? Any out of the list that you would want to?
I like stuff like laundromat, vending machine, which doesn't require me to do much except go collect the money.
You got to collect the money. And you got to stop. Because we would have to go to Costco, we'd have to stock up, get all the stuff, then we had to restock.
Yeah, I'd probably get somebody to do that because I've worked so hard to emancipate myself from having to leave the house if I don't want to. So so a lot of times I can't be bothered with stuff that starts to pull me out of the house when I don't want to.
Mm-hmm. I like what C. White said. She said a parking lot. That is a great moneymaker that even if it's so say you own like a parking garage, but even just a lot where you have trucks come and just park and they pay monthly to park, that is a great business. Actually, some folk, we thought about doing that some years back around the pandemic. I had gathered a bunch of Black folks together. We was trying to practice collective economics, but that was a business opportunity that came up where we were looking for land that we could purchase in the area where they had trucks where, you charge $200 a month. They could just park their trucks there. And you have, 50, 60, 100 trucks being able to park at your thing, you winning. Tanya said a campground. My friend, her boyfriend has storage units, and those make a ton of money, even more money than investing in real estate in some cases. And so that's been very lucrative for them. But we're going to talk more about it when we come back.
A campground where they just have land and then they pave it or put some facilities on it for camping.
Yeah, and they bring their RVs. Yep, and then they just camp out. But we'll talk more about it after we come back from the break.
Woo! It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Fly Nubian Money, and we're talking about the boring, everyday businesses that are quietly making people very, very rich. Dr. Felice, tell me the list again. The top 10. You're muted, sweetheart.
It was laundromat, vending machine, car wash, storage units, pest control, lawn care, mobile notary, portable toilets. There was some more that I think maybe 2 or 3 more I didn't get.
Okay. So, out of those in the audience, in the chat, if you could do one of those, laundromat, vending machine, car wash, storage, facility, restroom, lawn, restroom, lawn, landscaping, notary, or portable toilets, which would you do? Sophia said, I do mobile notary. Incog said security services. But somebody talked about vending machines. And Armando said that, the vending machine sounds cool, but let's keep in mind those snacks are what's poisoning our communities, processed foods, artificial food, and coloring. You know that you could have vending machines with hair in it. Have you seen those vending machines with weaves in it? You could have vending machines with
eyelashes.
Eyelashes.
Have y'all seen the salad ones? Because they have those at the
Yes,
hospital.
I've seen it at the airport. I wanted one bad, but I was like, oh, they're gonna feed me on the plane. But I hella want to buy one. I seen vending machine. I mean, of course, you can buy like chargers and headphones. So it's more than. And you want, like, for something like that, you really want to be in an airport, for like, chargers and phones and things like that.
And you can put healthy snacks. Like, I mean, to me, and that was kind of something I struggled with, being that I'm a naturopathic doctor, and I was like, I didn't want to get a vending machine and have like all junk in it. But I'm thinking about when I eat out of the vending machine, a lot of times I may grab a Snicker. I mean, we don't eat like that every day, but you can mix it with some Smart Pop or healthy popcorn, some peanuts, some cashews, fruit snacks, and other little things.
Right. Change it up. But I think these are good ideas. These are great starting places, because I think people don't really think about these types of jobs, landscaping. If you have a crew, like, I don't want to be the one behind the lawnmower. I don't want to be the one that has to stock the vending machines, like to Nomalanga's point. I want to be the one that's, I hire somebody to do that. I don't want to be Nino. I mean, I don't want to be the dope boys on the corner. I want to be Nino Brown.
The kingpin.
The kingpin. I don't want to be the one slanging on the corner. But there's another video. Let's look at this next video.
Boring business ideas that'll make you a millionaire. Here's how owning a bunch of these ice machines can retire you from your job today. Here's the math. The average one of these machines produces roughly 900 bags a month. Now at $2.50 a bag, that creates $2,250 monthly. It costs roughly $20,000 to finance one of these bad boys, and with 10-year terms, that comes out to about $138 a month. The area where I live, the operator has about 7 of these bad boys. 7 times $22.50 a month, that comes out to $15,750 monthly. That means he's making $189,000 in revenue. The reason why this is such a great business model is because look at it. This takes no employees. Minus your finance fees, maintenance, and the water to run this bad boy, you're roughly pulling in about $165,000 a year. Plus, if you're good at negotiating, gas stations like this one won't even charge you for rent because they think it's a value add to come bring more business to them.
Question is, what are the startup costs for something like this?
He said it was like $10,000 or $20,000. He says $20,000 and you finance it for 10 years. It's about $138 a month.
Per unit?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So is that something, Dr. Char, would you do a vending machine? I mean, an ice machine?
An ice machine? I don't know about the ice machine, but I definitely do the cold drinks and snacks.
Okay. What do you think about the idea of the ice machine?
I think that's a hard sell, only because you have more supermarkets that will sell you ice. McDonald's will sell you ice. If you at the gas station has ice inside the gas station. So it's almost like, it's overkill. So I'm not sure where, unless you put it like in rural areas where they didn't have access to those things, I'd have to think about where I could do it there.
Yeah, that's true. The thing about it is, as Black folks, we got to start thinking outside the box, because we are under attack. We really are. They're coming for our jobs. Over 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs in the last several months. Unemployment is at an all-time high. They're specifically, and I don't care what nobody says, they're specifically targeting us. And so we have to start thinking outside the box. So I'm curious as to, have you guys seen anything new pop up in your area? Like, what are some ideas that you have maybe that you could share with other people, some things that they can do outside of these things?
Maybe like dance studios, because right now one of the things that people are doing, they're coping by doing different line dances and stuff and getting together, and maybe like setting up a dance studio where different groups can have sections of the dance floor, rent out the dance floor in order to have their meetups to do their dance stuff or whole little things. So I'm thinking around that maybe.
Yeah. Oh, he did say billboards. They did say billboards too, remember, on that first one?
I've been looking at there's been a lot of stuff coming across my social media about courier, like medical courier, like the people who transport blood or lab specimens or organs, because that's something someone could do as instead of driving Uber, whereas you have to deal with the passenger and then the risk of having someone in your car versus, okay, this you get a few certifications that are under $100. Or if you pick up from the airport, you have to get like a TSA certification. That's like but you can start it with $200 in your own car. And so, and then as you build your business, you can actually get contracts and hire other people to have a fleet of drivers, but they're using their own car and their own insurance. And that's something that's a low overhead to start because people, have their own vehicle already.
Yeah. Well, that also reminded me, I own a dispensary, a marijuana dispensary, a cannabis dispensary. And one of the vendors that we use is somebody to dispose of the marijuana. And that's a specialized service as well. So you can only keep, it has a shelf life, excuse me. And so it has to be disposed when it expires. And so that is something that you could do. I don't know what kind of certifications, obviously you need some type of hazmat or whatever. You can't go smoking the old supply though, ladies and gentlemen. You got to dispose of the stuff. But that is something that actually people have made a lot of money from. My question, Nomalanga, was, because we just showed another one. It was an ice. Somebody had an ice. What was that? Ice refrigeration facility sitting on a gas station. But what I was asking is, with everything, with everybody losing their jobs and us having to pivot and think of other things, can you think of like just something simple, a simple type of business that people could start? Because I think people just don't think outside the box. They look at what's flashy, like something simple that they can start at.
These are for more like younger people. I think I had on my list, and I don't think it was on the other list. I had dog walking, house sitting. And again, I always go for businesses that don't require any money up front. Mm-hmm. If you're going to start a business for the first time, or if you're really hard up, or you just lost your job, you don't really have money, then you want to start a business you're not going to keep saying, I need money to get started. So I think those are the lines along which you need to think. I think the ladies also said things like accounting and where you're offering a service, again, that doesn't require anything upfront. That always helps.
Yeah. Mark said headshot photography. And I'm going to tell you, AI is putting you out of business if you get a headshot photography. Because
and you need a camera.
Well, you need
a
camera.
One.
But AI, all you got to do is upload a bunch of pictures in AI, and they will have a picture of you. What do you think my new business pictures are? Those are AI. Those aren't even me. I just uploaded my pictures. They took my face and they put my face on a with a
in
blazer
business
on.
Suits.
Yeah. So that's what they do now. Certain like brand shoots and stuff like that. Of course, I can't get AI to do that. But like if I just want a headshot, AI, it got insta headshots. AI, boom. That you're welcome.
Well, I think something that people don't think about is look at what skill set that you have that you may take for granted. Like for instance, the stay-at-home mom that tutored her kids and might have tutored the neighbor's kids, and so she needs some side income. Okay, start a tutoring business. That's no overhead. You're just advertising word of mouth. Mm-hmm. People, especially if you're over 35, you're going into your 40s, you have some life skills that you could be able to utilize.
That's good. So we're going to talk more about it when we come back from the break, but we are talking about boring everyday businesses quietly making people rich.
I know You're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
Welcome back. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in, this is Fly Nubian Money, where we're talking about boring, everyday businesses that are quietly making people rich. So we have some stats on that. Let's take a look at a couple of the stats. Nearly 65% of millionaires in the U.S. own businesses in ordinary industries like manufacturing, logistics, and services. The global waste management industry alone is worth over $1.6 trillion. Laundromats generate an estimated $5 billion annually in the US with relatively low overhead. So let me share a story with you before we go to the next video. So I have a friend, he was my tenant. I sold all of his parents' houses. I sold his parents' houses, his sister's houses, and then he rented from me. And he had just gotten out of prison. His dad had a electronic waste facility where they would have they would get electronic waste like old monitors and TVs, and they would dispose of it. And he made a lot of money. How do I know? Because I was his finance person. And so then they had a big warehouse. And so, I helped him, buy, get a couple of houses. That he was going back and forth to China. And he was like, kind of like just getting like, we was getting all kind of toys and stuff. So I would have all my friends go to his warehouse during Christmas, and because he always had these great business ideas. So then finally one day he's in China and he comes up with this idea. Him and his friend were drunk, were drinking one night, and it was like, yo, you remember when they used to have the boom boxes back in the day? And it was like, yeah, we should do a boom box, right? So they put together, they kind of drew it out on a piece of paper. They had a little piece of yarn. They figured out how they wanted to do it. Well, the bump box was birthed. I don't know if you know what the bump box is, but that is a $30 million business my former tenant created, and now Trade the Truth, and he's gotten endorsements from everybody. When he first started, he was trying to get Snoop to endorse his brand. And when you sit down with Snoop, you got to pay $30,000 just to sit down with him. And whether he decides he wants to do it or not, he gonna take 15. He gonna keep 15. And if he decides he don't want to do it, he gonna leave it on the table. So he connected with Trade the Truth. Trade the Truth hooked him up with everybody from Diddy to DJ Khaled to Michael Jordan. He got, everybody. So now I still do his financing. He's one of my VIP clients. He went from being my tenant to this $30 million business. And
wow.
But it started out from him doing the e-waste. He was doing doing all the electronic waste stuff, and he just took that business because when he went to prison, he had all these ideas. He had a little book, and he was just every day he was writing down business ideas. He was like, when I get back,
he had time.
Okay. He had time. He had this thing called the $8 pizza truck. He just had all these just different businesses. He did the $8 pizza truck where he had $8, So, but then he finally hit it with this. And when I tell you, if you go to bumpbox, bumpboxx.com. That's my boy, Rob Owens. He's actually a white guy. Yeah. But he's a really, really, really good friend of mine. And he's doing just amazing. Amazing. I just actually sold one of his houses like 2 months ago in California from the DMV. But he's doing a great. And I remember because I've been doing his financing. Now I do his loans too. So I got to see all his business. So I remember when he was doing the e-waste stuff, he was making 6 figures. Now it's 10 figures, 9 figures. Like,
Wow.
dude is doing it. So anyway, one thing, my point is, can lead to all these other things, but that boring one thing, you don't know where the start of that could be. Let's go to the next video.
The guy's cleaning business brought in over $4 million within 10 months. On average, he charges his clients anywhere from $5,000 to $11,000 per cleaning session. This is why I say boring businesses that serve people who have money in niche markets make millions. Let's talk about it. Whenever you want to start a business in a low barrier to entry market like cleaning, then you have to think differently to everyone else. You see, most people will follow the generic advice and just try and get any client, most of that being residential clients, Airbnb clients, or even office clients, where the average customer price is not as high as if they went into a really niche market. I talked about this before. Niche markets could be working directly with the government, could be selling to rich people, which is exactly what this man does. He offers cleaning services for private jets and aircrafts, but he doesn't even call it cleaning services, he calls it detailing, which is essentially like luxury cleaning. And his average prices really range from anywhere from $5,000 to $11,000, even higher than that, for cleaning different aircrafts. He has different fees for interior cleaning, exterior cleaning, even add-on services. If you think about it in the grand scheme of things, when he's charging anywhere from $5,000 to $11,000, even more than that, for cleaning someone's aircraft, is that really a lot of money when your aircraft costs $40 million? And this is why when you sell to rich people, you no longer become a commodity. You're selling based on your perceived value. The niche business of aircraft cleaning is so lucrative, not only in the US, but also in the UK. And I actually did some mystery shopping for the purpose of this video. I searched online to find all the different providers who are offering this service of aircraft cleaning services in the UK. And trust me, there weren't that many. Which means there's opportunity. And most of the providers who are around, when I checked on Companies House, have been around for a very long time. And that's indicative of pretty much a good market. The average price that I was being quoted just for interior cleaning of different aircraft models was ranging anywhere from £560 right up to £1,500. Bear in mind, they have different pricing strategies for cleaning the inside of a private jet, the outside, wheels, if you want ceramic polishing. I mean, there's so many different add-ons. So I could see how easily you could make thousands daily just by cleaning one private jet. Even checked on YouTube and
Yo, have you ever thought about something like that? Something that specializes as cleaning private jets?
I actually have a really good friend that owns the Janny King franchise, and she had an employment related lawsuit and got a settlement like way back in the 90s, and she was looking for a franchise to get into. And I think she was looking at Subway or something else, Taco Bell. And someone said, when she went to look at the franchise, they were like, you don't want to do this. You're going to be having to be here late. And so she was just weighing her options, and she decided to do Janny King. So now she gets contracts for stadiums and like major businesses because she's been doing it. And she's there with her employees. Sometimes she's there, sometimes she's not. Sometimes there's a challenge with getting good help. To work these stadiums, but then you get in major stadiums in a major city. So
right, yeah. Have you guys seen any specialized services like this?
Yeah, I knew somebody who actually cleaned, these really tall buildings, the glass on the outside.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the only thing that they did. And they would do these high-rise buildings, where it's so scary. They have to be hanging on these things and climbing and all that. But I know they were making a killing because the risk is also like not many people are willing to do that.
Right. Cleaning windows. What about you, Felice?
Not really thinking outside the box like that. I know that I was trying to get somebody that I know that was in the cleaning business to consider doing something where they did people's Airbnbs so that they would know that they would have consistent money coming in, because those Airbnbs, they have to have like really good cleaning services. And so possibly moving into the Airbnb field with your cleaning service instead of just waiting on one of us to say, can you come clean my house? Like Airbnbs have to get clean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have Airbnbs have a thing called turnover B&B where they have anyway. So let me tell you. So when you talk about Janny King, a friend of mine in San Jose, she is a multi. I mean, she makes so much goddamn money. I just seen her at a wedding when I was out there a couple weeks ago, last week, whatever. She makes so much money. Her family started out with Janny Kings, and she ended up getting a government contract. Now she is expanding her government contract to do stuff internationally. And when I tell you like multi, I mean, she's she bought a place in cash for $1 million a couple of years ago. And then because she also did loans under me, so she wanted to get her cash out, but she needed to close quick. She had she had $1 million sitting there. She has money like that. But to the point, when you think about government contracts is a way that you could do a ordinary thing and get paid millions of dollars. I live in an area where a lot of people in my neighborhood, and the only reason why I don't do government contracts, I wanted to, but I was like, I don't have the appetite for it. It's going to feel like work for me, but it does make a lot of money. I need to do what I'm passionate about. I can't do something that's making a lot of money. But over here, I was at the Commanders game the other day. I was in a suite. When I tell you, all Black people own these suites. These suites is about $250,000 a year for the suites, and they got a suite. A few businesses went in, but when I tell you, everybody on that row was Black, because they have these government contracts. They've taken something so simple. My girlfriend, she's done over $500 million in contracts. She told me, she was like, Constance, you got to do it. You got to do it. She said, I got one contract that's $1 million. And the only thing we do, it's $1 million a year. I think it's a 5-year contract, so it's $5 million. She said the only thing we do is this is my real estate contract. It's a building we kind of manage. If we go do an inspection once a month, and if there's something wrong, get somebody to come out there and fix it. It's a $5 million contract, managing a government business, a government building. So you have small things like that. When you go, so all you gotta do is you go on sam.gov, you have to have a business, and then you start bidding on these things. But when you go into sam.gov and you look at all the RFPs, they're just like, it be cleaning a plane, or be like, it just, getting parts to and you don't have to specialize in it. You're really the broker. You're really the person in the middle saying, okay, here's what my contract is. Let me find somebody to do the job. And that's how a lot of people got their interested in.
You know what I thought about? I thought about this whole topic back when we were having the lockdowns, and how things that you didn't think about that are or patents for things just blew up. Like, for instance, the plexiglass. Nobody used the plexiglass thing in front of the cash registers. Nobody did that except for the banks. But with the pandemic, everybody had to get those little shields put up at the registers, or those little plastic covers that go over the debit card machines. Just imagine the person who manufactured those. They probably increased their net worth by hundreds of percents, or thousands of percentage points. And that's something that I would think would be extremely boring, manufacturing covers for the debit card machine.
Right. And I think it's like seeing what there's a need, because I think that's what happens a lot of times is people are like, when I was going to get my hair done, I did not want to call that lady to make my appointment. I was like, damn, I need to invent an online appointment service. Now you have StyleSeat, you got Calendly. I was like, that was my idea. But you got to just see what the need is, and I think most people aren't willing to see the need and try to offer a solution for the need. Let's take a look at this next video.
3 businesses that you probably walk past every single day that could buy you your financial freedom. So keep watching if you're interested. Lint rollers. Every single person probably has a lint roller. No one thinks about who sells them, what make they are, if they need to be changed. It's been the same for years. For example, imagine selling really mini versions that you can put in your bag and you can take away, and making them cute and packaging them really cute so you can take them out. Oh my God, there's so many cute ideas. Take the ideas and start selling these, and you could make millions of this. This is a gold mine. I know, this is very boring, but label printers and thermal paper. Let me tell you something. There's about 30 million people that start a business quite literally every single year, and they're small businesses, and people need these kind of things. This is a little bit more high level in terms of what you're selling, especially the label printer. You can make so much more profit on it. It can be done in a really fun, cute way. It's very basic and it's very boring, but this could potentially be a gold mine. So travel pill organizer. I just came back from a trip and I'm very much into my vitamins, and these things were saving my life because I don't want to take tons and tons and tons of different vitamin things that I want to take. So I would just have one of these, but they're very boring and not really innovative. Imagine having daily ones with aspirational quotes, or little mirror, or aesthetically pleasing. There's so many cute ideas that I can do with this. another gold mine. If you're tired of waiting for the perfect idea, which by the way, there isn't one, start with boring businesses. Boring businesses will make you money, it'll get you capital, it could potentially make you a multi-millionaire. If you need
So, Felice, I know you are always on this whole mental mindset. So, in order for somebody to go from being an employee to, being an entrepreneur and getting a boring everyday job, what kind of mindset shift do they need to have or need to exercise?
Well, before even the mindset work, because mindset work is very rigorous, maybe possibly start by getting around entrepreneurs, like getting in spaces and networking with people who are doing business so that you can kind of see what it's like, talk to people, get a mentor, so that can kind of build and get you prepared to be able to visualize seeing yourself being in business, because you have to kind of feel it and know and believe that it's something you can do and that you have the skills, the resources, and the support in order to actually start getting into business. So I would start first before the mindset work is starting getting around entrepreneurs and getting in their mess, hearing them talk, hearing them spout out ideas so it can kind of get a bug on the inside of you. That's where I would start.
Get in a room. If you around three broke people, you're going to be the fourth. Around 3 millionaires, you'll be the fourth. So, Nomalanga, what do you think is the mindset shift people need to adopt in order to shift from being an employee to an entrepreneur?
The first thing though is that not everybody is an entrepreneur. I was watching something recently that said actually only 35% of any given population are going to actually be entrepreneurs. Other people are better off just, working a job or having that stability and that, that income that they can rely on. But having said that, I think Felice made a good point that you kind of have to be around entrepreneurs and see what they go through and understand what it is before you can jump into it. I remember by the time I had anything successful, I had tried, I think, 3 different businesses and failed dismally. But the good thing was that I was around entrepreneurs, and each time I was failing, I could kind of be around people who were encouraging, who were succeeding and giving me the tips and the encouragement and the masterminds and all of that stuff. And mind you, this was back, it's been more than 20 years when I first started. But again, it has to be that support system that you can rely on, because if you're really going to run a business or go for it, especially if you're used to working a job, you're going to fail. And so you're going to fail, and you need to be able to get back up and try again. Or when it's down, you have to know how to keep yourself motivated and inspired and be around people who are going to give you that, advice, motivation, encouragement, and so forth.
That's being around people. For you, Dr. Charm, my question is a little bit different because you're in real estate. And what I noticed when I first got into real estate, or when I see people who first get into real estate, they look at it as, why isn't my broker doing this for me? Why, they should be providing leads, they should be providing this. And so they come with a very employee-centric mindset into this environment, because they think that that way, well, we making the money, they need to invest in us, when really you're an independent contractor. So how are you able specifically, because I know you have a background in doing all these other multifaceted things, but just to settle into that and to be able to change your mindset so that you could be successful at that?
Well, I mean, I've been in sales for the past decade and really my entire life. So, but specifically sales as a career, I just been selling medical products. And so it wasn't a difficult transition, because at the end of the day, sales is sales. And so that segues me into the whole thing about people who are starting their own business. You may want to try it part-time while you maintain a full-time job as a source of income. And then that way you're able to fail, but still have the income as support. You have backup, and as you build your business, then leaving the full-time job. And that's one way to do it if you don't have a lot of capital to get started. But you definitely have to have the mindset of you kill what you eat. And with me being in sales, you kill what you eat, and that's pretty much it. So I love real estate. I love showing people homes, especially really nice ones, and I love the excitement of somebody getting it, like, oh, it's my first home, and walking them through the process and really helping create wealth, because the home is the key to the American dream, is land and a home.
Right, right. And that's what people don't understand. I've never been a salesperson though. And I was talking to my girlfriends about it this morning because they're in real estate, and I'm like, but I've never been able to sell anything. Um, if I had to sell, like if I had to call 100 people, get 10 appointments and close 2 deals, I can't do it. I can't do it, but I could show you because for in real estate, I've been in real estate. You don't have in real estate, I don't got to sell people a house. Houses sell themselves. So I guess I got to sell me, but I feel like I'm looking out for your best interest. Why wouldn't you want to work with me? I'm going to be the best. So maybe that's the sale, but for me, and I know
sales is solving problems. And I'm trying this new sales method, and it's really been working. Instead of press, here's in sales, we talk about features and benefits. Like, oh, this house is this and this and that, or you can make a lot of money with this thing, or buy this coffee cup because it's green and it's really pretty. The new mindset that's really working in sales is problem solving, because at the end of the day, people are self-interested. Mm-hmm. And if you appeal to what solves their problem, then what's your motivation for buying this house? Oh, I want something for my dad. He's getting elderly and I want to move him in the house with me. So then it's more of a consultation, and it does sell itself because you're solving their problem.
Yeah. In your capacity, Dr. Felice, do you feel like you have to sell people?
I think we all do. Like, in order to have somebody want to work with us, and build trust with us, we have to sell ourselves. And we sell ourselves by getting better at our crafts, right? And the more we get better at our crafts, I'm convincing you that I'm your one in order to make sure that we can get to the other side of your problem. And so I think we're all in sales. It's just that it doesn't look like the gimmicky thing that we normally see when you think about a car salesman. But when you were talking, Constance, with your posts, every time you're coming out with something new, that's a sale, right? Like you're getting out there and you're letting people know, this is me. This is what I can do. This is my creativity. What does that do? That builds interest for people to say, I want to buy with you. Mm-hmm. I want to work with you. And so I think we're all in the form of sales, every single one of us.
That's good. What about you? Because you kind of looked bewildered when I said that I'm not a salesperson, Nomalanga. What do you think about that?
Because you are. I think again, she was saying, we think of the sleazy car salesman, and that's actually the worst kind of selling. But when you're gonna sell, you're really just offering people information about what you're offering, right? And then the truth is that if what you're offering and you give them enough information, if it connects with something that they need, they'll take it. That's all. So that's all you ever do is just give people information. The ones who bite are the ones who this information is meeting their need. And if it doesn't, you just move on to the next. That's it. Once you get into that whole convincing thing and it gets all uncomfortable, then you're kind of losing it. Now you're into the sleazy salesperson kind of tricking, manipulating, and that's really just not what sales is about. It's really about knowing your product, sharing your product. And if it's a fit, it's a fit. If it's not, you move on. You might check back with them later, but you don't do that whole thing where it gets uncomfortable.
Your pressure.
And just want to get away from you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a timeshare person. Like they will. You got to do it now. There's never going to be a time again. If you don't buy it right now, I got it. Like this doesn't feel good. Can I think about it? Can I process? Can I pray? Can I?
That's easy. That's easy.
Yeah. I was talking to a lady yesterday, and she just joined Net 7, and so she was like, "You are such." She might be watching. She said, "You're such a great salesperson. You got my credit card," and I was like, honestly, I'm not trying. Like this is. I figure, you have a need, and I just try to provide a service for your need. Now, when I first started doing that, when I first started offering my own products or services, that was very cringy to me. I never wanted to be that person that go in the back of the room and I'm saying, I couldn't do that. But as I became more confident in what I was doing, and I saw the results and I saw the transformation that it helped people, it's like, I got what you need, because I know that I have proven track record that this actually works. And so then it doesn't become a sale anymore. It does become exactly what you said, Nomalanga. You have a need, and here's is the solution to that. And so If it works for you, that's great. And if it doesn't, that's totally fine.
You're solving the problem. But it's so funny to me because as a person who's a sales expert and a sales trainer in my previous positions, it's like nobody wants to be sold. And the research shows like when you feel like that somebody's trying to sell you, it actually activates your fight or flight response. And so then that's when people link up, oh, I gotta go, I can't. But then you're watching TV and commercials come on, you're getting subliminal messages all the time, or you're on social media and stuff comes across all the time. So the key for us in the sales arena is to sell something to someone, but without making them feel like they're being sold, because no one wants to feel like they're being sold.
Yeah. Only thing I do is look, it's a million houses. Which one you want? I'm gonna look out for your best interest. I'm going to negotiate, and also I want it to be a win-win for everybody. I want whoever I'm negotiating on their behalf, I want them to feel like they walked away feeling good. I want the other people to feel like they walked away feeling good, and everybody, this is a great transaction. But some people feel like if I gotta win and you gotta lose, and I don't operate or subscribe to that either. Deborah said, absolutely, I'm a salesperson. She's in net 7. It comes so natural to you that you don't realize it. In my estimation, you appeal to people's emotions. Okay, I'll take it. Let's take a look at a couple more of these stats.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
I don't know what happened to the stats, but that works too. So listen, if you had to do, no, I already asked you guys that. If you had to do something else, what would you do? But I just was thinking, like, what is another revenue stream? Because I think at the end of the day, just like you said, Noma, everybody's not meant to be an entrepreneur. You're right. But like Dr. Boy said, we all should be selling something extra, because you never want to have what you're totally dependent upon one source, unless that source maybe has an everlasting source of income that just don't go away. But we all should have multiple revenue streams. So if all things being said, and it doesn't have to be one of these everyday businesses, but if you had to choose, Nomalanga, to have another source of income, what would that be?
I think maybe it's the stage of life I'm in. I don't spend time.
Because you're rich. You don't need one. You're rich. We get it.
No. I just mean I'm older. I'm just at a stage where I really do, that cliche where they say follow your passions,
Yeah.
I have, like, for example, next year I'm doing a group trip to Botswana with some of my American friends. I'm already going to do the trip, whether y'all come or not. I'm doing the trip, but
I want to go.
Yeah, you see, so I just do the things that I really love, and then find a way to monetize it. I have a travel business. I've always loved teaching. I have online courses at the business school. I got a couple. So I really do capitalize on just doing the things that I'm passionate about, that I love doing. And you've seen my brand, the M3 brand. I'm married, I have children, and I have several income streams. And that's what I really, really focus on helping people to do, just the same thing that I'm doing. So I've come to a point where I feel like stay close to what you love, stay close to what you're passionate about, and really do things that you feel is gonna really positively impact people. And that's the thing that I forgot to say before about sales. If you really believe that what you're selling or what you have as a product is good and people really need it, you don't have to convince people. You just kind of share it and then you move on, because you want to share it with as many people as possible, and eventually others will bite.
That's good. I love it. Okay. Dr. Charm, what do you think?
What do I think about
if you could have another revenue stream, it doesn't have to be one of the boring jobs or boring businesses, but if you could have another one, what would that be ultimately?
Definitely, because I have knowledge and expertise in so many different fields. I'm building out courses.
Building out courses?
Yep.
Okay, that's what's up. Using your IP, your intellectual property,
Mm-hmm.
and pay handsomely for it. So I can't wait to see what you got come down the pipe, boo. That's good stuff. What about you, Dr. Felice?
I love this, and I love being in the room with people who are thinking outside of the box, because I have about 5 different income streams, but I think
I love it.
The next one I would like would probably be I would love to start doing retreats, but a little bit more creative with my mental health retreats, like truly have retreats, and where people not only get information, but they're able to experience it and go back and process through it and get alone with it in their time. And so, and then also build community at the same time with the people who are on the street. So I would love to start doing retreats.
Okay, I love that. I love it. So we're gonna do our final thoughts. And Anonymous says something. He said, "Passion and love ain't paying the bills, lady." So that leads to my final thought question, and I'll start with you, Dr. Charm. Would you rather have an income that was paying the bills, but it was boring, like it was making you hella money, and you're wealthy in that career, or something that you were passionate about and it was just paying the bills? So something that's boring.
Well, y'all know I'm the poster child for this. I don't see patients anymore, and every time everyone looks at me, they're like, "But you're a doctor. You went to school all this time, and like, how are you not seeing patients?" Because that would be the biggest revenue generator. I looked up, I was seeing 50 screaming children a day getting kicked in the head at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I love the babies and I love the children. But I looked up one day and I said, I can't see myself doing this for 20 years. And when you have that type of situation, you have to follow your voice, your inner voice. You have to, especially someone who is intuitive as I am. I'm a psychic medium, so I have to follow that big voice that God has given me, because it leads to bigger and better things. And it has led to bigger and better things. And I'm very, very happy with what I do now. I'm excited. Life has a lot to offer. So follow your passions, but also be practical. That's my advice. You can find me at CharmGirl77 on Instagram. I am so excited to have been here, parlaying and politicking and conversating with you ladies. I have to bring my Houston out. Politicking and conversating with you ladies. But thank you. I'm very grateful.
Yay. Good job, Dr. Charm. So for you, Nomalanga, would you rather have, it's for rich people, I know this answer is going to be, but would you rather have a quiet, boring business that made you millions, or something that you were passionate about that paid the bills?
I don't think that you have to choose, because I actually believe in multiple streams of income. So some of the
in this case, you got to choose, lady.
I would choose the money, because being broke is no joke. Okay. Because the thing is that there are other things other than just enjoying life and being happy and all of those things. Those are important. But if you're broke and you can't meet your obligations, you can't take care of your family, and you're not having stability, I don't think that serves you or anybody that's around you. So I do believe in starting businesses that maybe it's not all that fun, but it makes sense, it's lucrative, and it pays the bills. I believe in that. But like I said, I think down the line, you do need to, when you have the room to do that, start to focus more on things that you do have a lot of passion for, that you're having a positive impact on people, and that you actually enjoy. So you're balancing it with the quality of your life. I could go on and on, but I won't. You can find me as Nomalanga Msawi. Actually, my name now has changed to Nomalanga Habroni on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram as Noma Moses. I have a couple of courses. Incidentally, I have a course that we recorded, I think 10 years ago, and it's still got students in it with Dr. Boyce, and it's actually called Fire Your Boss. And it's about transitioning from working full-time and transitioning to starting your own business. It's called Fire Your Boss. I think if you Google that or going to the Black Business School, you'll find it. And I also always want to mention our charity that's here in Botswana. What we do is we supply sanitary supplies for young girls in school, especially those who are underprivileged and sometimes miss school because they don't have sanitary supplies. So we at Pads for Our Girls supply sanitary pads to them. We also have a girls' shelter for girls that have been abused that we've adopted, and we supply to them as well. So if you would want to donate, it's at padsforourgirls.com.
Good job. Thank you. Miss Dr. Felice. So the question goes to you. Would you rather have a job, it pays the bills, and I got to make you broke, a job that you love, that you're passionate about, that pays the bills, or a boring business that makes you millions?
So I'm going to choose the boring business that makes me millions because it's going to create the space for me to follow my passion. So it's actually going to lead me into my ultimate. And so that was quick and simple. I'm Felice Hightower Britt, your B-Big coach. You can find me at Instagram at b.big.coach, and you can find me on my website, www.thebebigcoach.com.
Yay. All right, you guys follow all these ladies. That wraps it up for us today. For me, I would choose the passion. I don't know. I love what I do, and I know that I could do something that could make a lot more money a lot quicker. But it doesn't motivate me. It doesn't get me out of bed. It doesn't do any of the things. So for me, it would be totally something that I'm passionate about. But if it wasn't paying the bills, if I was totally broke, because y'all don't even know what my bills are a month. So my bills are a lot. And so as long as I could cover my bills and, I could help my kids out and I could do all the other things, that I'm good. But anyway, this was a great, great show. And I think that we definitely need to look at, just different options. Like Nomalanga said, everybody is not destined to be an entrepreneur, nor are we encouraging everyone to be an entrepreneur, but you should have multiple revenue streams. Your money should be working for you in one way or the other, whether it's investing in something that's going to generate compounded interest, whether it's a side hustle, whether it's another business. Like I have my money, I have an app that I invested in. I pray that thing goes and it pops. And if it does, it's all good. And if it doesn't, I went in knowing that it's a possibility that it won't. I have my money in vehicles that generate compound interest. I have my money in stock. I have my money in all these other things in real estate. So if something should happen and my earned income is not doing well, then I have all these other places that I can pull money from. And that's what we need to do. We don't need to be stuck holding the bag. We need to have multiple revenue streams, whatever that looks like for you. Okay. That's what I want to tell you. But I do want to say that today's conversation showed us that wealth doesn't always look glamorous. The truth is that many millionaires, they built their fortunes in places most people overlook. So whether it's in laundromats or vending machines or waste management, the money is in the consistency, not the flash. So remember, here's at Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your what? Now, if you want to get more information, you could text the word Queens at 87948. Text QUEENS at 87948 so that you can get alerts every time we go live. All the trainings that we have through Fly Nubian Money or the Black Business School. Text Queens to 87948. And listen, we're going to see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.